joining me for this Valentine's Day tutorial. If you're new to my channel and you like videos like this, then I would love for you to subscribe so that we can be together for more nail art fun. I'm using pigment powders for this design, so first I have to paint all of these nails white. I'm using my favorite white gel polish from Canny, and it is number 023. I'll put a link in the description box. Now I've got all of these painted, I'm only going to do one layer, but I'm going to put them in the light to cure. I like working with nail art pigments, but they are messy. So I have some kitchen roll down here. Oh wow, look how it glows in the UV light. To catch any of the bits that fall off. I don't want to ruin my clothes or my background display sheet. So these are the colors that I'll be using. A yellow, a pink. This is kind of, it looks quite orange because the UV light is on, but it's more of a corally color, and a blue. I wanted to have like a baby blue, but I don't have one. So this is the blue. This blue will have to do. So I also have this fluffy brush. This is just like an eyeshadow brush, I think. I use it religiously. I've had it for years and years. This is what I use for all my glitters. Oh, fuck's sake. And pigment powders. So now these have come out of the light and they're tacky to touch. I don't want to touch them. I just touched that one when I picked it up and dropped it. But I don't want to touch them because I want the tackiness to stay on the nail. And now I'll just go in. Actually, I'm going to leave this on here because I want to do one color at a time. If I go in and do one nail at a time, then I'm going to have to clean my brush between every color, and that's going to be annoying. So what I'm going to do is just pick a color, and then actually I'm going to put these on this side, because when you're using pigment powders, you only need a tiny, tiny bit. So once I have some on my brush, that's way too much, I'll just dab it on this lid and just, oh hello, just get a wee bit. You know, it's better to have a little bit and then too much. So now I'll just go in and kind of put on the yellow where I want it. Then I'm going to dry my brush, get rid of the yellow that's on my brush, and then I'll just go in and fade out these edges a little bit so that they're not so harsh, so that there's room for it to ombre. But I cleaned my brush first because otherwise I would just be making the yellow section bigger and bigger and bigger, because a little bit of pigment powder goes a really long way. So now I'll just do that with all the colors. This pink one has quite a bit on the lid here, so I'll just use that, and then I can't dab it off into the lid because there's too much, so I'll just dab it onto the paper towel. And now again, I'll just get most of it off my brush, and I'm going to try and just blend these sections between the two colors. I want to try and make that look like it's blended, if you know what I mean. And I'll just really be working this pigment powder into the tacky layer, making sure that it's all evenly distributed. Now, I would like the blends to be a little bit more blended, so I'm going to go back in with some yellow and layer it over again. And when I overlap the pink with the yellow, it will just make it better. Went a bit crazy on that one. So that's looking pretty good. I'll just keep going. I'm going to stop talking now and just kind of enjoy it. So you can just sit back and relax and watch me have some fun. So that is the pigment powders applied. I think my video stopped recording. I have a new camera and it only records in 10-minute increments, which is super annoying. I need to set a timer really. But I got them all blended together. I'm pretty happy with the way that they turned out. And then I just brushed them off so that there's very little excess on them. So now they're ready for the design to be painted on, but first I'm going to go in with a base coat, because the base coat is really sticky, so it's going to make anything I put on top will stick really well to it because of the base coat. If I just went in with a top coat, then the chances are that the top coat would just peel away because it doesn't want to stick to powdery pigment. The same thing goes with chrome powders. Don't just put a top coat over top of a chrome powder, it won't stick very well. So I'm trying to be quite gentle when I'm applying this over the pigments, and I'm using an old base coat that's kind of running out so that I don't contaminate the one I use on humans. It's so funny that I call my clients humans. I was telling one of them about it yesterday and she laughed. Okay, so they're all got a layer of base coat on. Now they're ready to go in the light and cure so that I can draw on the designs. So for the designs, I am going to be using a really pigmented black gel polish. I got it from Rosalind. It's my favorite black gel polish. I was going to use my gel paint, but it's a bit too thick, and this design has some curves in it, and I find it really hard to get curvy lines with a thick gel paint. So for the pink accents, I'll be using this polish from Canny. If you haven't tried the Canny polishes yet, my God, you need to go and check them out because they're just the best quality for the least amount of money, and they gave me a discount code for you guys, so that's always good as well. Oh, that looks really funny inside of the lamp, look. All the bright neon colors. I like that. Okay, get back up here. Here we go, that's just turned off. Now, they've got base coat on them. I'm going to wipe this off because I don't really like drawing over top of base coat. Oh no! See that bit there? I didn't cover fully with base coat, so I might have to touch that up. Now I'm scared to wipe these other bits off. I'm not going to wipe them off because I don't want to wipe away any of the color. So now I need to troubleshoot this bit and add a little bit more blue there, but I do have a blue gel polish in that color, so that's what I'm going to do. it's good to do a little bit of troubleshooting with you guys, because this is the kind of stuff that happens in real life when you're working on your clients. So this is what I would do in this situation. I would just cover that up with a bit of blue gel polish, blend it in there. There's a bit over there too. And then that's going to be fine. So if that were to happen when you're working on a client, then you can just do that and then put it in the light to cure again. And then you know what I'm going to do? When that comes out of the light, I'm going to put a top coat on it just to make sure that everything is covered and that doesn't happen again. Here they all are top coated and protected, so none of the pigment is going to come off. They've had a layer of base coat to make it sticky and now a layer of top coat to protect it. So now I can go in and do my designs. So what I want to do is get some of this black and pink on a palette so I can start drawing. This is my favorite part of doing nails. It's the designing and all the fine details. It's what I really, really like to do. So for the first nail, I want to do a couple of a black line and a pink line and a little heart. So I'm just going to get some polish on my brush. So I talk about this sometimes, but if you're new here, then this will be the first time you hear me mention this. If you're watching this again, then I'm sorry. When you pick up polish on your striping brush, sometimes you get this little knobbly bit at the end and it's super annoying, because if you were to place that on the nail like this, then it creates this line that just isn't very even. So I always try to avoid that, and you'll see me often in my videos pick up some polish and then I wipe it on my nail to prime the brush and make sure that it stays evenly distributed on the brush. So then when I go in to make a line, it just creates a line that's even the whole way across, even though it's not straight. But you get my idea, right? So that's important. That's something you'll see me do, and I highly recommend that you try it as well. So I'm going to do one black line here. Okay, now you can see the pink line. I wanted to mention, don't be afraid to make mistakes, you guys, because due to the joys of videoing, this is the second time you've watched me do this, but actually I wiped it off 3 times before I was actually happy with the end results. And I find that the best way to learn something is to mess it up. So don't be afraid to make mistakes and start over. That is all part of the fun. So now I'm going to put a little heart at the top here with my dotting tool. So as I do when I make any kind of heart, I just do 3 dots. The bottom dot I always try to make smaller because that's going to be a really pointy end and I don't want it to be a big blob. So I just try and make that bit really tiny, and then I can shape the top bits and fill in the rest. Like that. So that's the first design done. The next one, I'm going to try and do a heart in the middle of the nail in black and pink. So for that, I will use my striping brush first. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to try and use my detail brush, but I tend to have better control with my striping brush. So first I'm going to try with that one. So again, I prime my brush, and then the middle of the heart's going to be like there.